Kashmir Shaivism is known as the philosophy of recognition, pratyabhijñā in Sanskrit. But what is recognition? What does recognition mean in Kashmir Shaivism? This term, pratyabhijñā, is often translated as recognition. But this translation can be misleading if we understand it in an ordinary sense. Because here, recognition does not mean learning something new. And of course, it does not mean to admit or to acknowledge. It means more like to realize, to appreciate, to taste fully something, like the difference between just eating an apple without feeling it and really tasting, savoring the apple. So in everyday language, to know something usually means acquiring new information, like learning about Paris or about the best restaurants in Paris, or discovering something we did not know before. But pratyabhijñā is not about acquiring new knowledge. It is about recognizing or realizing something that is already present, that is already given. A classical example is this. You meet someone and suddenly you realize, oh, I have seen this person before. Nothing new is really added. Nothing new appeared, but something becomes clear, and that recognition has the power to change the course of your experience, even though the experience, the content itself does not change. Nothing new is added. So what is being recognized here according to Kashmir Shaivism? Well, according to this tradition, what is recognized is the nature of awareness itself. The nature, the very nature of consciousness herself. It's not an abstract concept, but the very fact of experiencing. Recognition is the insight that what I am at the deepest level is not separate from the field of experience. And actually, it is that very field of experience, the space of awareness that is containing everything. And that everything then, everything that appears is not outside this awareness. If this is already the case, why is recognition needed? You could ask. Because it is not seen clearly. As Utpaladeva puts it, a famous master of this philosophy, actually the main philosopher of it, says it's like when you're on a car and you're looking at the landscape. You're seeing the trees, the grass, the mountains, but you're not really seeing them. You see them like you don't see them. You're not really taking it to heart. You're not integrating. You're not digesting fully what you're seeing. You do not pay attention. And maybe you see something very important, but you don't recognize it. You don't link the things together. So experience is then fragmented, Like now we know about God, about a wonderful state of happiness called maybe awakening and so on. But we do not link those descriptions with our present experience, with our present awareness. And so recognition is to recognize this divine state of which or about which we have heard about, and our present experience here and now. This link between that faraway happiness or perfection and this intimate but ordinary and tasteless awareness, this is recognition. And this has the power to change your experience here and now. So, recognition is not the creation of some state, like some artificial state of unity. It is the clarification, the becoming clear of what is already the case, of what is always already the case. And what is always already the case? Well, that everything is appearing in awareness. Everything is disappearing in awareness. And therefore, and this last step is especially important because this is proper to the Tantra tradition to which the recognition philosophy belongs. As nothing can exist outside consciousness, it follows that the only possible cause of everything is awareness or consciousness. And one more point, consciousness creates everything willingly, freely, like a person, like a living soul, not just like a physical energy, not like some mechanical physical phenomenon. So, recognition is the clarification of what is already the case. Like you're looking for your glasses and suddenly you realize you are wearing them on your very nose. This is why recognition is often described as immediate, direct, not produced by effort. It is not the result of a long process of transformation. It is a shift in perspective. But this does not mean it is easy. Because what is most obvious is often what is least noticed, like when you're looking for your glasses. So, what is the role of texts like those of Abhinavagupta, Utpaladeva, and other great masters of this tradition? They do not give us something new. They function as indications, as pointers. Just like someone comes and you're looking for your glasses and say, oh, but look, they're there on your nose. You're wearing them. So short, precise formulations that point again and again toward recognition. And such a collection of pointers, maybe you have heard of it, is the so-called Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, where Vijnana means pratyabhijñā, recognition, realization. This is then especially true for very concise texts, like just now, become aware of the space between two thoughts. When one thought has ended and before the next arises, what is there in between? This is a yoga. This is a real practice. This is a concrete practice with immense power. And this requires full attention. And then the philosophy of pratyabhijñā gives arguments to entice us to pay attention to awareness, to become self-aware. So recognition in this tradition is not an idea. It's not just putting a new idea on the table. It is not even a philosophical conclusion. It is rather the moment when what is always present, that's always present space, is no longer overlooked. And this is not only space, because space, okay, space is everywhere, has no form, and so on and so forth, but space is dead. You know, space is inert. It is not aware. It is not alive. But we are awareness itself, life itself. And so we are not only space that is all-encompassing. We are the vibration, the very vibration of existing. I am. And even the tradition is even more precise than this. The tradition says we are I am I, just like a circle, going back to awareness. Because awareness is a vibration, like starting from I, going to things and coming back to herself, like a throb, very, very, very fast throb, like a cycle, like a heart beating. So some texts entirely are composed of such indications. For example, the Bodha-pañcadaśikā, or the 15 verses about awakening, about awareness as well, because it's the same word in Sanskrit. Bodha means both awareness and awakening, attributed to Abhinavagupta, is one of them. 15 short verses, each pointing toward recognition in a very direct way. Each verse is like a door to insight. So if you are interested in exploring this text carefully, I will offer a small online workshop where we will go through it in detail. And you will find a link for this in the description of this video. And I will later on offer other workshops also on this very tradition. Thank you for your attention and hope to meet you soon in one of those workshops.